Today we're talking about the movie we just came back from, which was Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, the much anticipated follow-up to the individual movies from all these different characters that were well set up and introduced.
In comic books, maybe, if you read them. So...
We haven't talked about this, so we drove home in silence.
We have purposely not talked about this movie so that we could all vent our feelings right now. Do you want to just come out and say if you liked it or not?
I need to digest things before I really understand my feelings about them.
My feelings are clear and at the surface all the time. I did not think this was a good movie.
I didn't think it was a good movie
I
either.
thought it had opportunities to be good, but with a script that was bad, it really didn't have much of a chance. By making your bad guy Enchantress and coating it with peppering magics across this whole thing, and falling to the old tropes of I must stand here doing this for 4 hours making a gun or a weapon or whatever.
Yeah, so
that's not ever been good. I don't know why people keep doing it. Is it because it's just simple? It's like classic bad guy video game bullshit.
Right. So here's the formula or whatever. It's you have a thing happening and a beam going up into the sky, right?
With clouds circling and lightning storms and weird magical mists.
And you have your what do they call it? The dragon, the lancer, whatever. You have a guy, hanging out next to the big beam or whatever it is. We're being abstract here. That'll be your pre-boss before the main boss fight.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a bunch of faceless, nameless entities that the heroes can just plow through on their way to the main final boss. And you still don't know if I'm describing...
When you say nameless, faceless bad guys, do you mean literally they have no faces and never,
No, that would be ridiculous. You'd have to give, nothing doesn't have a face. I just mean, as an expression. You haven't really developed them as characters.
These have no faces. They're black. I was like, are we watching Power Rangers?
Undulating. Yes, exactly. Okay. What I was building towards was and you don't know if I'm describing the Avengers or that Transformers movie with the thing in the sky or a million other things. I feel where yes, that's what we do now.
X-Men Apocalypse.
Yes,
every movie that's come out in the last 10 years has a bad guy.
And I completely
Swordfish. I'm just kidding.
I completely agree with you that it's at this point people joke about it. So it's really weird to see it again in the most straightforward and cliche way possible.
You could have made this a normal, awesome movie. I'm going to give you the plot for how this could have gone down very well. All right, so you're making a movie. You already set up the backstory as you got Harley because Joker crashed his car. He got away, left her for dead. Harley should have been pissed. Harley should have joined the team there because she's mad at Mr. J. That should have been your thing. Joker should have been doing something like holding some people hostage.
Make him
he
the
should have
bad
had
guy.
a whole tower. He could have done an assault on Precinct 13 type of thing, or Dredd, where he has a tower of bad shit happening. Or he's stealing shit. He's making a big thing. He has a bomb. Anything. He's threatening laughing gas. Something that maybe is fitting with a comic book. The nature of the character, maybe use a character people have fucking heard of. You show the Joker throughout the whole thing and barely show him in the movie. You show Enchantress as if she's a good guy in the beginning, and you never really use her. She looks way cooler when she's in her one form, but you feature her much more in her Princess Aztec bullshit form. That form sucks. No one wants that. So if you're gonna make a movie, make it good and just give us what we want. Don't show us characters that you're really not going to develop because you don't need that. If you're going to do that, kill them. Give us characters you never develop and kill them. Kind of like how you didn't give Slipknot a backstory at all because you knew he was going to die because he did die. And what the fuck?
So
did you pick up on that too? It's all right, the only one they didn't show is the one that's going to die.
100%. So let's take a step back and let's unpack some of the stuff here real quick. That Aztec form. We should probably wait till the end for that, but no,
we're not. We'll do what we want.
Enchantress's various forms. All right,
she's a cool witch, a grudgian-looking witch, and when I say grudgian, I mean the girl from The Grudge.
Oh, I was gonna say I think you mean
grungy,
grungy, and you're having a stroke. Yeah, with jangly bits and
cool
smoke coming off.
Generally, much more attractive that way.
Weirdly so. Something was wrong. All right, Cara Delevingne. is an actress, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's good at anything. She's been in a couple of things. People were making some comments about her as an actress because she was a model, so everyone hates her
Of course.
trying to act kind of like what's her name and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yes, the trailers make it seem like she's part of the team, but the astute the astute audience member might realize that if she was on this team, she could just go like this and destroy all the bad guys. And they don't show the bad guys in like the trailer at all,
Which was smart, because I wouldn't have wanted to even see this movie if I knew they were fighting some weird Resident Evil bad guys.
Where literally they're using like the stretch and warp tool to like undulate their faces. It was actually bothering me.
I hate that. What was this movie rated?
I think PG-13.
Do you know why they did this? So they can have violence
Yes.
on a nameless, faceless bad guy that's not a human. It's essentially like fighting robots or aliens. They're demons. You get no blood. You get no problems. You can
Just
do whatever
like
you want.
crap flying off.
Yeah,
No.
It's so lazy, and
Well-
I'm very tired of bullshit like this. You take my money and you dangle things that I want, and you are totally within your ability and your right to give me things that I could want. But you go like, nah, I'm going to go to the widest common denominator and give you horrible garbage.
To go back to the thing, that's what the Chitauri and the Ultron bots and all that stuff.
But
That's,
at least
but
those
that's
made
this-
sense.
No, but that's the same motivation. Like they're just like delivering it in like a better package, and they've done a lot of work around it. But that's the point: is it's PG-13. Hulk has to smash something. Let's do this or whatever. And that's and like those are the examples people didn't walk out of the theater hating, that kind of snowballed it into like now we all joke about it, and here's a new one for no reason. Fuck. So yeah, she looked really bad. I saw Snow White and the Huntsman.
Okay, I
Did you
not
see
catch
that?
one? No.
Okay, I saw it in theaters. Funny
Why?
story. Me and my dad were gonna go see a movie, and like nothing was playing, and we actually, as I mentioned, potentially in a different video, it turns out, I like that, like shit like that with magic and swords and all that business. So I saw it. Parts of that movie are not bad. Parts of it are bad. One of the bad parts is what is her name? We just talked about her. The chick in that, she was the Aeon Flux chick. Shoshana Lasamina fucking
Whatever.
God, it's happening. They filmed her picture Cara Delevingne in the like third
Charlize
act.
Theron?
Charlize Theron. I think it's Charlize Theron. They literally while I was watching, I was like, did the editor hate her? Like they're hanging on the shots of her with the CG. Like you take like you take an attractive woman, you paint her with CG that doesn't look good, and then you hang on the shots a weird amount of time while they deliver this horrible dialogue, and you EQ the voice and add an echo that's low to make it weird, and I'm powerful magic, and it was ugh! I was like, holy shit, why are they doing this? This is awful. It was the same sort of
Why are they
thing.
doing this to him? Why?
I was like, oh, they don't know what this looks like, or the editor must hate her to structure it that way. And the same thing happened here. She says the word metahumans at some point. She's a 6,000-year-old creature from whatever. She would say people like you. She wouldn't say metahumans are the future.
The only and not to defend a terrible movie, but the only reason I can allow that is because she has her thing pumped right into her, her brain, taking her information. So that's possible.
Sure.
My red herring, what other red herring's not the proper thing. Just
Red
bullshit.
flag.
Red flag here would be okay. You have a list of all these metahumans that are not horrible criminals, murderers, psychotics.
Yep.
But you don't approach them. you approach these ones.
Yeah, so let's.
And I get because you can pin these ones, you can take them and
Sure.
kill them if you want. It's not a big issue. But even if you're gonna do that, what do some of these people even bring to the table? Like Captain Boomerang. What does he bring to the table, honestly?
Couple of boomerangs.
What does he bring to the table that a Marine wouldn't bring to the table? Okay, he throws
Boomerangs.
he throws a boomerang, but this guy throws a bullet. If they're both as accurate, why does it have to come back to him?
And why?
What does Harley Quinn bring to the table?
Yes.
At all. Honestly.
So-
And I like her. Aside from the girl power, having an attractive female lead, and just the name recognition, she brings nothing to the table.
Well, so I should point out again, you are more the comic book guy because I am almost.
I've not read a ton of Suicide Squad.
Well,
So
I'm almost not a comic book guy at all. I'm not gonna, put you on the spot in terms of the actual Suicide Squad. But do you happen to know if Harley Quinn was in the Suicide Squad?
never that I have read have I seen Harley Quinn
Interesting.
in there. But I'm not going to say she's never in there.
Well,
the Suicide
and
Squad
I,
roster changes
yes.
constantly because part of the great thing is you can have a lot of these B and C level villains and kill them. So like you can have characters you like die, and then new characters come in, and that's cool.
No, and like even the X-Men and the Avengers over the years, you can see like comic book covers have changed their rosters.
Dramatically.
Like, so that's why I said I'm not gonna put you on the spot and like make you commit to like, oh, she was never, because she probably was at some point or something like that. But I don't know anything about any of this shit except for like some of the people or like whatever.
But it's just like, okay, put a crazy person on your team, like.
Yes, why?
Wouldn't be, especially like if this is your first mission with these
I know.
people. Not like Deadshot. That makes 100% sense because he's like a military man.
Yes.
Only he's better. Croc, that's a fucking tank. I don't know if it makes sense for logistics of like a monster who's actually eating prison guards.
Right.
But if you can get him controlled, you can keep him tamed with the thing in his neck. That's actually someone that can do something. But Harley, like a chick with a bat and a gun.
Yeah.
Like,
so
yes, she's a tough broad, but
so. Follow-up question for someone who knows comic books. Does Harley Quinn have, like, what you would call powers of any kind?
she's a girl.
She's just a person.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, vat of stuff didn't do anything. Does, like... Because Joker has no powers,
I've never even
right,
seen that
like
reference before, the vat on Harley.
Yeah, that makes sense. In, like, the things are bad way. No, I had the same thought.
The only thing that may have done is bleach her skin white.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it like solidified the love bond between the two of them. There's so much to talk about. To cap this off, yeah, I had the same thought because some of the stuff was like, because at some points the bad guy faceless putties are shooting back, and I'm like, well, you can't. You just have a bat. You can't do anything. You're not even wearing armor. You're not doing anything.
You're not even wearing pants.
Like. And it's not like the case of like Thor or someone where it's like, I didn't expect you to be 100 feet tall, I'll have to fly up there. Like, these are not people who are like, well, I'm equipped for various situations and I'll figure it out later. This is like, I'm equipped for a very narrow set of situations.
I'm a bank robber, I use boomerangs, that happens to be my thing.
Right.
Yeah, I could hit you with them, but what?
Right, like I'm pretty good in like a hallway where there's a couple of guys.
Yeah.
So if we're not in that scenario, it's not going to work. And you're like, all right, why are you the elite of the best of whatever?
No, I couldn't imagine.
You brought it up. Maybe you did. So let's just talk about the ending scene. In case,
it's terrible.
In case we don't make it through all this.
I also, so the ending scene is, there's, of course, the big
Thing.
bodyguard. Oh, the post-credit thing.
Oh.
Okay, so the post-credit thing is, Bruce Wayne, as we know him now, is getting a list. He's bartering for immunity so that they won't know Waller was in on this thing with the Suicide Squad, and so he'll protect her, and she'll give him this list that he couldn't find on his own somehow, and she knows his identity also, which that's something. She's a cunning person in the comics.
Well, yeah. So her thing of like, you're looking tired, Mr. Wayne. Mr. Wayne, yeah. Bruce Wayne. Sometimes
looking tired, bad
sometimes
man.
I say the wrong thing and I freak out. But this was not one of those times. This time I said the right thing and freaked out.
I want you to flip over the back of the couch and run away next time you freak out.
This wire will fucking. Oh fuck! I did it again. Run away. No, so she goes, "Yeah, you're looking pretty tired, Mr. Wayne. You just stop working nights." And he's like, "You know, I'm Batman."
He's like, "You should stop being a bitch," and he walks away.
Stop being a cunt. All right. So yes, he.
But so she clearly has the evidence that there are these people that.
Well, okay, so he flips through real quick, and it's like Aquaman and the Flash or someone maybe, right?
And Enchantress.
But Enchantress, right?
So 3 people that are arguably the most powerful possible that she has so far, and she only includes the one that is the bad guy of the movie.
Yeah. So weird, right?
Yeah.
And she doesn't say, "Good luck, I tried. That fishy son of a bitch is a bat." Like, she doesn't know, whatever. But so that's the treat, is if you haven't already seen the trailer, now you know Bruce Wayne is putting together a team or whatever the fuck, and there you go.
Yeah.
So we're not.
It was the biggest waste of an ending credit scene. Yeah. It could have been anything. It could have been something you'd want to see. Maybe Deadshot in the city looking for Batman. Mm-hmm. It could have been them breaking out. It could have been a post scene with Joker and Harley.
Because Joker's alive, whatever.
Because Joker apparently is alive.
We showed that. Okay.
2 things. Did you notice the gunner on the helicopter and like Joker's background like number 2 guy was from True Blood? He was the big idiot guy.
That's Alcide? Wait, big idiot?
No,
Who are you
Alcide.
talking about?
Who the hell's El Cid?
The big
No,
werewolf
not-
dude. Who are you talking about?
I was talking about the one that was dating the redhead and then broke up with her and they mind wiped him and he lives in Alaska. Or
Oh fuck! Fucking
What's his name?
Jethro?
yeah, Jethro, whatever his name is.
No,
And then I could be wrong, but did that little girl, Deadshot's girl, look familiar to you?
she did.
Is that Franny?
I thought I was racist. Is it Franny?
I don't know. I thought it was.
We do a recap review of a show called Between, a Netflix original that's horrible, and there's a young African-American actress on that show who bears a striking resemblance to Deadshot's daughter, and I literally told myself I would not even mention it because you would have called me a racist and they all look alike and all that stuff, and I didn't look it up either, and you're looking it up now. I'm stalling. We're going to keep this train
your,
going.
your words are making it so I can't even spell.
I can't type correctly while doing this.
I don't know what her name is or the easiest way to find her, so I'm Googling Franny from Between,
Okay.
and then we'll see what comes up.
She did look very similar to me.
She
but
looked
I don't know.
very much.
Might have been the hair, might have been whatever. And like she's older now too, and that would have fit. She was taller
Yeah.
than Franny was on the show, and I feel like she's at that age or whatever. But
But the ending.
did you happen to catch though, while we're on the subject of who's in this movie, that Sheriff Hot Mess
Yep,
from
she's in
Stranger
Suicide Squad.
Fucking A, dude.
I
I'm
knew
not-
it.
I knew I wasn't
knew it.
racist. So Sheriff Hot Mess from Stranger Things is one of the government guys.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
I
one.
forget his name or whatever. He looks different in this. I think he's one of those actors that gains and loses weight for shit or something like that. Because he looked a bit different, but it was definitely him. Otherwise, I am racist. Oh,
Thinking all white people look
all
alike.
white people, all 40-something-year-old white guys in suits look alike.
That's kind of true.
I mean, it is kind of true.
But I want to
so-
talk about this boss fight. So you have
Okay.
the situation where you have to kill the brother. The brother is the muscle, apparently. But also, he doesn't have a heart that was like hidden somewhere or something. They just broke open the thing. Oh, wait, hang on. Something irritates me even more I gotta talk
Should
to.
we start somewhere and go somewhere else?
No,
or
we
is
just
this
jump
a good
around like
strategy?
crazy persons.
I'm into it.
So the movie starts off and they're talking about Enchantress. And they're saying, I forgot what her name is, was something Moon. She's an archaeologist and she went into the wrong temple. And she like picks up an idol and then promptly smashes the head off.
Snaps the head off like you're giving someone half of your Kit Kat. Just
Like
pow!
the worst archaeologist ever made. Like, what?
One of the worst. She's not an archaeologist, but I was gonna make a joke about the chick from X-Men Apocalypse that brings on the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like, you are the worst. What have you done? And she's like, I don't know, guys. Let's just go run away.
So they break
Yes.
open the thing, and apparently she has a heart hidden somewhere. The brother, who's also in a little tiki idol, does not have his heart hidden somewhere, or was able to go back and get his. But
Who knows?
semantics, we're arguing bullshit. So back to the end when they're fighting this dude. They have to blow up. The plan is to send the Marines under the water to blow up a mine or a big
Dip
fucking-
charge.
yeah,
Instead of
detonation
going
thing,
back
kill
in the
him.
fucking thing.
So aside from being like very reliant on getting coordinates from a tunnel to where he is on the top and hoping for the best, their plan is to kill themselves, which I don't think they went over very accurately.
So they glazed over that. There was a bit of air in the chamber, but water cannot be compressed. So explosions.
It had a
that,
1 second detonator. No matter what, he's dead.
Well, you don't know that, but that's what I'm saying. So like water, explosions near water are very dangerous for people in the water, because you would just get.
Croc probably
you would
only
get
survived
crushed or
'cause
whatever.
he's
He's
Croc.
Croc, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I don't know. Maybe it was a known suicide mission. They didn't really pay much.
Well, he pushes
Mind
the
to that or
button and
whatever the
dies
fuck.
instantly.
Sure.
So like, whether he had to know it was a suicide mission.
I mean, it says 1 on it, right? So
Yeah.
fucking. I don't. No, I did catch that, but I don't know.
Do you think Diablo's dead?
No.
No. I also love how Diablo turns into like an Aztec warrior on fire.
Okay.
Speaking of racist.
Okay. Did he speak to the brother CGI monster in the language that they both understand?
I did not hear that. Maybe.
He says something and there's subtitles like "You're fucked now, boy."
I
or
thought he was
whatever
speaking Spanish.
Possibly, but why would he speak Spanish to a 1,000-year-old entity while
Why
he...
do Spanish people talk Spanish to me? I don't understand it either.
I don't... it was hard to tell because he's just a CG monster, but the brother's face I thought moved like, huh? Like how are you talking that language? And he was like an Incan, Mayan, ancient Spanish thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait a minute,
Equipped with loincloth and headdress.
Is Diablo Diablo you've
Is Diablo
seen?
an ancient?
Is he another ancient being from the things? Is this the world we live in now? Is this the world DC has chosen for us? So you've seen in like the trailers, tattoo face guy making fire tricks and all that stuff. His final evolution, his third stage or whatever, is he
That's
turns.
not even his final form.
That's not even my final form. He turns into like a 12-foot tall fucking like witch doctor from Diablo 3 if you're familiar.
Yeah,
sort of
more or less.
like flaming skeleton with loincloth headdress, skull sort of face. I'll show you what I really am. Like what? What is how are you ever in a thing
And
ever?
so many-
How are you ever captured? You just walk out of the prison. You're a fucking invulnerable
doesn't
flaming
want to
skeleton.
kill people.
Of course not. And the only way to do that is to be in prison.
I
and have your
hated
life
so
be
much
shit.
when he was in prison and he kills the people and there's like a flaming crown over his head. I'm like, that's so lame.
That's weird, right?
Lame.
Why would that happen?
Because he's lame.
Because you're lame.
DC being lame. So many people get thrown and break through concrete and never like die of horrible body injuries.
I almost made a comment hey, once you get to the supernatural thing as Harley or Captain Boomerang, you're not going to be very useful. In fact, he just swatted you for some reason instead of impaling you and killing you instantly, but swatted you both away in like one whatever, and you're like, okay, I guess that's... And we're being maybe nitpicky or something like that, but when you're, a lot's riding on this movie, it had to be kind of good. And had you picked Joker and maybe some other people that Joker hangs with, or had one of the squad turn against the squad, Harley would have been logical. You could have actually had a fight.
If you were
that
going to
kinda
go
made
with
sense.
unrealistic, magical, horrible bullshit, why not go with somebody cool? Like
Ooh, okay.
Something unrealistic and that would be bad in a movie. So the problem with this is you're trying to keep these in a real world, is that you can't do certain characters because they're going to look like this movie looked and be bad. If you're going to do that, why not go with someone cool like Clayface?
Sure.
Something good. I don't know, anything. It just frustrates me when there's so much source material to make something really good and they just cop out and make it bad.
So let's loop around. Mm-hmm. So we've already talked a bunch about it, but so the trailers, the reason the trailers look the way they do is because they're hiding from you some of this stuff.
They're hiding the whole plot of bad.
Right. So and I didn't see it coming. I assume.
I had no idea who the bad guy in the movie was. I
Until they
avoid
showed
most
it to you.
trailers. Yeah.
Well, it's not in the trailers because I remember watching the trailers. There's a scene of a subway car being shredded, but it's that scene from the side where you can't really tell what's in there, and the brother is not formed yet, really. So it's like a mess. People were talking about I freeze framed it and it's like Metallo Man from whatever or whatever, but it wasn't. It was this other thing. Enchantress, bait and switch, army of faceless minions, all of that business. What about the rest of the team? How did you feel? So the movie opens.
I just thought that the movie was too short. So this would have had to been for an opening movie where you don't know any characters.
Yes.
It's too short. You're rushing through all the characters. You made a team too big of people you didn't necessarily need to add to the team. You could have made a smaller team and really expanded on the characters more. Or had other movies before this and then you could have made the movie on how they all got caught. And each one could have had their own movie that way, and then you would have had a great team movie.
Or you could have made this movie and just because literally kind of people make jokes about certain things about this character didn't imagine if Captain Boomerang was not in the movie.
Yep.
Right?
Would have changed nothing.
Now I liked him.
I liked him too.
I liked the beer and you mate and all that stuff.
Where did he get that
was
first
cool.
beer from?
Where did he get any of the beers from?
Well, after they went to the liquor store.
It was the same weird Aussie brand of Australian Four Loko or whatever he was fucking drinking the whole time.
Oh, maybe they were, and I would have liked them to explain the unicorn. I would have liked them to have some fun with everything.
Right, and that's some fucking shit on the cutting room floor that they had to leave the other parts in for some reason. When he got stabbed and wasn't really stabbed, I expected it to be the unicorn.
Yeah, but it was money. Where did that money come from?
And for him to fly into a rage and start boomeranging people or something like that. But no. And Harley had to be in there for the posters and shit like that.
Yeah,
but,
you needed her just because you have a list of characters that no one knows.
If you want to tie in with the Joker, if you want awesome cosplay and promo shots of her licking things than you need her in the movie or whatever. Right, but the movie opens with a bunch of those intros over different songs and seeing bits and pieces. It's very uneven. I think Crocs is like B-roll from in the prison of some other shit that they didn't end up using, where he attacks the people more, right?
Yeah.
Like, and as you pointed out, it's like Slipknot just gets bussed in at the end, and they don't even do a thing with him.
All they only say is he can climb anything. Done.
It's the man that can climb anything. Yeah, who have we not? Okay.
But I knew Boomerang was tricking him into dying, because I was like,
yes.
well, he's gonna die. They have to see if that's real. There you go.
No, that actually endeared me a lot to Mr. Boomerang there, and I was happy because similarly in the trailers, like they show this big thing, and they've done little spots about the different characters, but they haven't done anything about this person. I didn't even know his name was Slipknot until the movie. Now, is he a real person?
Yeah.
Is he a real character?
A real dead character.
A real character that's no longer in the DC cinematic universe.
If you were gonna do something like this where you had this big of a thing, I would have added more bad guys so you could kill more
characters. Yeah, exactly.
Because you knew, like, all right, nobody else is gonna die because these are all very cool characters.
Right, because we're almost out of famous people. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, so Will Smith is still Will Smith. I thought was pretty interesting.
yeah.
Which is, I guess they wanted that, and that's why you hire Will Smith. I was sort of looking forward to Will Smith maybe not being so Will Smith, but he was 100% Will Smith. I was just trying to get you there, dog. We're cool, right? Yeah. What? Oh, no. I mean, it's the hypotenuse is the... gotta go. Like, he was very Will Smith.
Now, this whole movie is pandering to the lowest. It's just... It's disappointing. I said it before.
Yeah, what are your, like... Yeah.
I really like the idea of good movies, and I think they should make good movies. And when you take characters that people love and are cool to begin with, there's no, like, if you're gonna fuck with them, just fuck with them. Like, make it totally ridiculous. Don't like aim in a direction like, oh, this could be cool, like, but not.
What do you mean by that? You're saying don't
make a Suicide Squad movie.
Oh,
like, if you're gonna just be looking to make a quick buck off people liking things, make just a Harley movie, and then you could have just a chick in underwear the whole time. Make just a Joker movie. The Joker was fucking terrible, too.
I was just going to say, I was going to let you finish your rant, and because I'm trying to make sure that we hit all the main
Joker
topics
he's
here.
the worst Joker we ever had.
So
and
I
thought that in like all the pictures you see of Jared Leto, like the hair was super green. I figured it was because like when I see him on the street with a really like a light neon green hair, it was because in the movie they crushed like the colors and it would be like a darker like it would look fun. But it was so bright and he dressed like a weird pimp and the tattoos don't make any sense and like just
so
his like cadences, everything was bad.
So there were moments where I thought, like, okay, so we should say, just for my own whatevers, like, I always like when people try different weird shit, and I'm always like, oh, this could work. And when I saw, like, the, rumors and, like, the realities of the Lex Luthor and Batman vs. Superman, I was like, okay, no, he's going to be, like, disarmingly quirky, but really pulling the strings. And he's like, oh, he's a rich, powerful, megalomaniac. And now that's like I'm like a Mark Zuckerberg type, and, oh, this is interesting. I like the direction you're going. Ooh, Jolly Ranchers or whatever the fuck. And then you see the movie and you're like, oh my god, this didn't work at all. Similarly here, we've seen some previews and I was trying to be optimistic and like, yeah, he was like doing an impression of Heath Ledger at some points. He was doing an impression of Mark Hamill at some points. And yeah, I don't know if it's the writers or the situations they put them in, but it was just a whole fucking, and it seemed like, what happened? There was it seemed like they were editing or filming or cutting around a problem.
I swear they changed his teeth. I'm bringing up a picture of him now to see if it was different. I don't know, it was always that bad and shitty. The weird like holes in like the grill and like exposed parts of real teeth totally ruined it for me, because for me it was the metal teeth made sense because Batman probably punched out his fucking teeth.
Yeah,
but all his teeth are there, like you can see them in between the fucking thing. Like
he just has a grill.
It's just like it's for looks. Ugh.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I didn't really like the grill, and the tattoos are a little.
The smiley face on his hand, like stupid.
Like I don't want to sound like I just wanted a different Joker that we've seen before or something. I was super open to the idea of a new Joker. I think Jared Leto's cool as a person or whatever the fuck, but I don't think that this works.
I pictured What was the crazy guy's name from Breaking Bad? The crazy like drug dealer, like Toko or Tico or Taco.
That's racist.
What was his name?
I think it was Tuco.
Tuco. So
Did you
I
say
pictured,
that?
yeah,
Oh.
I don't know. Tuco though. I pictured a crazy gangster ass Joker, and
Yeah.
I was into that. I was like, all right, a fucking like just
No,
like, and what was with that beginning? Why was Common in the movie? Why did his character look like an idiot? Why did what?
who? Was that Common?
Yeah. In the beginning, he goes to, "That's a bad bitch." Oh, you want her?
That
Oh,
was
let me just shoot you.
Common?
Yeah, it
oh
was
my god,
Common.
I didn't know it was Common.
It was the.
Does he have all those
dumbest-
tattoos in real
No.
life? Okay, fuck. I didn't recognize Common. Okay.
They gauged that, like gave him fake gauges,
Yeah.
the fake fucking bull nose.
Wow. Fuck. I don't know.
It was bad.
What I was hoping was, like you were saying, like the gangster Joker, and some of the shots were showing that. I think some of his wardrobe hinted at that, and even some of the stuff in that scene, because he's got dudes coming to him, paying homage, calling him Jay and shit like that. I was like, this could work, this could fit.
No, but I did not
then,
want him to be
no.
mafia gangster. I
No, I
wanted
know
him
what
to
you're
be
saying.
street gangster.
No, but that's what I'm getting at, is like that all could have maybe worked. But then, like I'm saying, like when he shoots him, they cut to like a jittery shot of like a color paletted like it didn't. It felt like you put together his scenes out of shit that you had. I don't know what's going on. I'm very upset.
I'm going to do
that's
some
the-
research tonight into this movie and see if there's any rationale as to why things are so bad.
What did I hear? I heard he was.
This is supposed to be longer, right? And they cut it down.
I heard he was being very. Well, there was the reshoots thing. I don't know about that.
Well, I know
but
they did a lot of reshoots to add humor into the movie.
that was the rumor, but then they came out and said, no, that's not it. We're just doing reshoots. This is normal. Don't worry about it, or something like that.
That's backpedaling.
Well, that's just responding to a rumor. I don't know what's true. No one knows what's true or not. I heard though that Jared was being like super.
From Subway?
Jared from Subway, who's also the Joker, was being very like method in his acting and stuff like that, and maybe pissing people on set off with his like always being the Joker type thing.
Especially this Joker.
I was gonna say that might have been. I don't know.
This weird androgynous character, like.
I don't know. It could have worked.
But it did not. So, like.
I thought it was closer than I think it was for you, but it definitely like I don't know.
If you took this movie, which was like, say, 2 hours long, there's like 17 minutes of good movie in there.
Oof. How much of like fine movie and how much of bad movie then? What is your like breakdown or whatever?
Acceptable movie? You can cut the rest in half for acceptable and shitty.
Because I was worried you were going to be like, it's 98% shit. And I'm like, no, I think it's like
But
half
when I say
fine
acceptable,
or something. Yes.
I'm saying acceptable movie. If you want to say an acceptable superhero movie, it does not get that quality for
Well,
me.
and what? Yeah.
A Marvel movie, it is not. A DC movie, on par with their horrible crap.
No, and like that's what I'm saying is like, well, that's what I was getting
DC's
at.
bar is so low.
This had to be good in order for like, because now it's like we're in like critical condition. Now we're like, oh fuck, because you've established all these things now. Like, I guess you can recast the Joker. I guess you can recast Lex Luthor. I guess it could work in another movie magically somehow. But this is super concerning. You've already knocked a lot of like major shit. Like I'm super concerned.
I'm worried for the future. When they get another dud in the Justice League movie, I think DC is done making movies, and they will sell rights to somebody else.
I think at some point, yeah, you have to like, I don't know, stop or whatever the fuck. I can't. I mean,
the sad thing is they're always going to make money.
Are these making money? Is this fine?
They're making enough money. I don't know if they're like, we're making billions, but they're definitely making their money back and making a profit.
I'm sure they're disappointed. So. All right.
But they're definitely pushing toys. Toys is always the market for these superhero things.
But like Spider-Man 2 made money, but they still pulled, Sony now instead still pulled the plug because like when critics and audiences respond so negatively, like multiple times in a row. They have like formulas that say,
Yeah.
well, fuck, listen, now we can't because we only made this much money this time because everyone was like, well, maybe it was a fluke, and now it's a pattern and we're fucked or whatever. So yeah, at a certain point, not that I think DC would sell the rights. Really, who would? What do you mean, like?
Like
give the,
let people option to do things,
but not to Marvel, obviously.
No, well, you
It
can't
would
do
be-
that. That's not a real thing.
Well, I mean, like, but they're the ones now under their own sort of thing with like Disney. Like, could they do it to like like?
I think
or
if some
do you mean to,
random
like,
Joe
a-
Schmo
yeah.
writes up a script, they might buy that script rather than like try to keep making movies badly.
Oh, you mean like take stuff into me? Because this is okay. Because like
It would be a clean house scenario and a restart.
well, because they are Warner Brothers, right?
Yes.
So there's really only Universal and Fox who's not already tied in with Marvel, and even them have some weird things where maybe they wouldn't be able to or like whatever. So yeah, it's not the same situation where they could like, okay, you do it now, but just give us a cut or something like that. There's not
Yeah.
too many options. That's what I mean. Like, I'm concerned. People may just have to get fired or die, and then someone else makes a Superman in like 2028 or
There's
something
nothing
like
good
that.
happening.
It's very like, oh fuck. Did we miss anything? Did we leave anything out?
I don't think we left anything out.
Let's take a moment here.
This movie already took too many moments of my life.
No, I'm pretty. I knew that I didn't like it, but until we talked about it, I thought I was like it was fine or something like that.
I was
But
like
there's-
angry at parts during
there's
the
too
theater.
much-
I was like, come on.
No, there were. Do you have any recollections of what those moments were?
Like when Harley's in the elevator and she's texting, and she's attacked like twice. A normal dude should have just been able to kill her. These are like monsters. And why do none of these monsters have like weapons? And why are they all attacking you like gently and like grabbing you and shit? It just there's a lot of convenience happening here. Why,
That
if,
triggered
if
something
ever
for me.
any of the bad guys use guns, why don't they all use guns? If they have the cognizant ability to use weapons, why are they not all using weapons? They don't have to use like actual things. Like, oh, you don't have a gun or a knife. Pick up something. Use a piece of glass. Like anything. Like
Sure.
they just come at you like, "Ooh," like the putties from fucking
Yes.
Power Rangers.
Though that whole elevator ride was super weird. It didn't fit, and they got up there without an elevator. I guess they ran up the stairs
As
but they
quick
were
as
all-
that's
I
bullshit.
don't and like, but that's
She went up like 2 fight scenes. Like that's
But that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's not something that should happen in a movie, like, on this scale, right?
no.
You should watch that as, like, the team and go, like, so that's what I mean. So something had to have happened where they made a like, decision that we need to cut this, and I guess this will just work and it's fine, right? Which shouldn't be happening. You should feel like everything in the movie, like, in the Avengers, there's none of that. There's no scenes where I'm like, I guess they didn't have enough footage of Thor and him fighting, and they just had to make it work. Like, I'm always
Why did
everything
they even
feels
cast
like it's in
Croc
place.
as a person?
Yeah,
Croc has 3 lines.
one of which is racist. He wants BET.
Yeah.
I guess he's black in there or something.
Well, the character who plays him is black.
Well, but there's, I mean, like, but is the character of Croc an African American who was born with this condition?
I don't know.
Is that canon? I don't believe that's. I don't know. What?
Couldn't tell you, but it's weird.
He wants
and to say
he wants BET in his cell.
I just want BET. He doesn't want a full option of channels. He wants one channel.
He said he's very happy with BET.
I know, he was watching it.
All right, so at the end, yeah, everyone's back in the prison, but under weird circumstances now.
But like, so everybody like so. So Captain Boomerang just wants to be free. They say no, so he gets nothing for his
Right?
efforts.
Is that because he left and came back a few times and they want to fuck him over? He's just in a cell, screaming. That's his
Yeah.
reward. And she gets an espresso machine and does her hair or something like that. And Will Smith gets a real punching bag instead of his homemade punching bag.
Yeah.
And Croc gets BET. And Diablo
Diablo's dead,
is
in
dead, we
quotes.
think, or whatever. I guess he wouldn't be dead if this movie was like a great movie. But I think because of what happened, I think
But
he's
also
dead.
talking about a great post-credit scene could have been just like Ashes turning the fire or
Back
something,
into
and he's
Diablo.
back.
Yeah.
Something.
But again, like, if he was cast as, like, a more famous guy, and if, like, fucking this was a good movie where they were like, we gotta make more, everyone loves all the characters, we're testing off the charts with all these people, I think Cara Delevingne is just never going to be in any more of these movies, because she doesn't have any powers anymore, right? Because they killed the witch or
Presumably
whatever,
not.
right? So she peeled off that face mask that was the thing that was in the fucking whatever. That was cool, though, when, like, the hand came over and flipped
That
around.
was very cool.
That was fucking awesome.
That was very cool.
like you said, there's about maybe 25, but 17 solid minutes of like that was cool. But like, yeah, the helicopter crashes immediately and they're all fine.
Yep.
There's a lot of
Like that would have been a situation where there could have been extra members and some died right there.
yeah, and like you don't like
The app is super flawed. It's just a screen with pictures of their faces, and when you tap it, they die. She's holding it like very willy-nilly. There's
yes.
no do you confirm?
I was looking at her thumb and I was like, on my phone that accidentally closes the text message thing. Like you can't put your thumb there. That's fucking crazy. And it shouldn't be an app. And like a lot of the that reminds me of all the bad jokes. That's the killer app or whatever the fuck.
Wait, no.
All 6 people in the theater laughed at like 2 of her jokes, though. I thought, right?
Yeah.
You too, I think. What the fuck was it? There was one where she's like, "I'll go" or something, or when she does some fucking thing. She seems nice or something like that. There was a few that I was like, okay. I'm like, maybe this will be okay. And then things were shitty for a while, and I was like, maybe it won't be okay.
No.
What about what's her name with the sword? Why is she in the movie?
Katana?
Yeah, it's a dumb name. This is the name
They
of the
wrapped
sword.
like so. There's her character's super flawed. Like so, her husband like. How does Rick know anything? And it's like, her husband was killed using that sword. It steals the souls of her enemies. And then, like, when they cut to her, like, what she was doing minutes beforehand, she was avenging her husband's death. Like, from the guy, like, that's kind of convenient.
What do you mean?
She was killing the guy that was there for her husband. Like right before she came out.
Oh, and she said I was busy, and they explained it,
Yes.
and that happened to be okay. Exactly right.
It's
She should have been busy doing something else.
It's all wrapped
whatever
up in
the
a
fuck.
neat bow.
Sure.
And like so much is like accepted, and other things are like not accepted.
What do you mean? Do you have examples?
Like, she has a magical katana that takes souls. That's fine.
Okay, what do you do? Right, there's no like,
You
wait,
shoot
what?
fire?
I know.
This movie's garbage. I'm done talking about this. Until next time, guys, don't die in a fire.
I just remembered something else.
What did you remember?
Speaking of convenience, in like the final, we talk about the final fight with the witch, where she's like dancing around
terrible.
and doing shit or whatever. So anytime she has an opening on any of the team members, she opts not to stab them with the knives she's holding and like kicks them or knocks them over or something else
It's a bad movie
instead.
that's conveniently bullshit.
That kind of thing infuriates me.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Lord have mercy.
Bad.
It's forgivable in certain other things, but not in this sort of scope and scale and all that business.
Nope.
We're done. We're done with you. Wonder Woman better be great. Good night.